Hello. This is a brief addendum to the other video that I posted about 12-21-12 coming up. And this is to explain the astrological aspects, to be more specific about what those aspects are. First of all, the fact that this is a time of important social change is indicated by the fact that all of the outer planets are involved in aspects to each other. And Jupiter is kind of loosely involved, but really all of the planets, with a slight exception towards Jupiter, but Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, that shows a major social movement happening. That's one thing, and I'll tell you more about what they mean and what each one means and what they mean altogether. That is already powerful enough. But these aspects also get activated by the interior planets, by Mercury, Venus, Mars in particular, and the Sun, which counts as a planet astrologically. So the most powerful violent aspect has to do with with Pluto squaring Uranus anyhow. So these are two outer planets. So that shows a social tendency towards unexpected power struggles, really, that can become violent when aspected by other planets. So at the end of last week, they were aspected by Mars, very exactly. Mars, which is the fight or flight, the aggressive planet, the most male planet, the I must protect myself planet, whether it's by fighting or by running away, was on Pluto, which in itself is already very aggressive. Pluto is the underbelly of the beast. That's really, a call to look deeper. But it can represent all those aspects of ourselves that we don't want to see. It can represent power struggles. It can represent a lot of nasty stuff. That's the stuff that we don't want to look at. Mars on Pluto tends to lead to violence and aggression. And whether it's just a violent outburst or whether it's more major, it's an aspect that tends to become easily frustrated and express itself with extreme acts. Pluto is an extreme planet. And so those two planets, Mars and Pluto, have been squaring Uranus, which is in Aries, which is like my way or the highway, more my way than anything. Uranus is always the planet like striving for independence, for the unexpected, for not being tied down. And Aries is a sign that it's the first sign of the zodiac. It's famously selfish. But more than selfish, it's about will and about the desire to do what one wills, what one feels one must do. So you can see that and Uranus has a tendency to also pull the rug out from under your feet, to lead to sudden, unexpected behaviors or acts. So you can see that Pluto and Mars squaring Uranus is a deeply upsetting aspect that can lead to accidents, that can lead to sudden, unexplained outbursts of extreme violence, which we have seen, and that is generally a difficult aspect for everyone to handle, and that the social, the larger societal part of this aspect was touched off by Mars. The positive aspects are Neptune making a trine, a positive aspect, to Saturn in Scorpio. Neptune is in Pisces, Saturn is in Scorpio. So this gives us the strength together. It's also a social aspect to really do the work of spirituality and to look deeply where we have to, and to find the bigger picture, to find truth in our heart, to find compassion, to find connection to all beings through the hard stuff. It may not sound like it's the most exciting aspect in the world, but it's really, truly powerful because Neptune can become spacey and Saturn is the ultimate recognizer of limits. So when these two planets are in positive aspect to each other, it is a powerful spiritual aspect that really helps, at this point, all of us uh, really see how the work of spiritual practice, of any sort of spiritual practice, can be real and can be meaningful and can help. In addition, the Saturn in Scorpio and Neptune in Pisces make positive aspects to the difficult aspects in Capricorn. In addition, we have, to talk about Jupiter just a little bit, Jupiter is sort of still loosely squaring Neptune, which is in Pisces. So it's forming a challenge to these positive spiritual aspects. But it's kind of, Jupiter is the planet that brings benefits, so it's not the worst challenge in the world. What it mostly means is that it can make us overestimate our strengths, or it can make us a little lazy about really pursuing the work. But it is not, generally speaking, a powerful negative aspect, and usually it's one that you can find ways to work with. And also, as the Sun continues to move and Mercury continues to move, they too will be on Pluto, which is in Capricorn, and will be squaring Uranus. So there continue to be issues to deal with along this line, and we continue to have to rely upon the powerful spiritual aspects that help us understand and have compassion for all and do the work to make that real, to really ground that in reality and not just think of it as some airy-fairy kind of thing that might be for others, but we don't have time for. I hope that it was clarifying. I'm sure for those of you who are less than completely astrologically cognizant of all the meanings, that may have been a bit confusing. But I hope before this you did watch my other video, which was more about the meaning, the real meaning of this time, even in the light of recent tragic events, and the difficult birth that we are going through. And being in the birth process, the transition is always difficult, but it does lead to something new, and something new is always exciting. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, I just wanted to add something else about these powerful social aspects, the difficult ones and the positive ones. Obviously, these are affecting us right now, but that it has major ramifications in terms of the children being born around now. And for the most part, I would say those are positive. To have Neptune trining Saturn in your chart is really, really beneficial, no matter what, because the position of Saturn is where you have responsibility in life, and the position of Neptune can be, it can be spirituality, and it can be many wonderful things, but it can be where you get a little spacey, where your kind of connection to reality becomes a little thin, whether it's because you are connecting to a higher reality, but or if you just are getting a little spacey. But to have this planet that represents the connection to higher reality and the one that represents connection to our responsibility on Earth, joined by a positive aspect, is remarkable. And to have the difficult aspects that push you to really, truly work with that and find out how to make the difficulties of being a person in this world with strong emotions and strong drives, and your need to come to terms with a higher reality, to have those two planets for a whole group of people being born now, it signifies a major and ultimately, I believe, very, very positive time coming for humanity.